everyone, welcome back to my next video. Today's a little windy and blustery. I hope if that's any problem, I apologize in front, but I think we'll be okay. And today we're going to meet Howie and what I think might be the most unique rig I've ever seen. It's Howie and the whale, and you live in a whale. So I guess my first question is Howie, why do you live in a whale?
Well, you have to live somewhere, and it's actually fun. It's just like little people like to build forts and stuff, and it's just that kind of play. Life should be play. I wanted to build something kind of nautical that felt nautical, but I didn't want to be on the water. I didn't want the expense, the maintenance. I didn't want the headache of being around the water. This is much quieter and peaceful here than being in a harbor.
So do you live in your trailer full time?
Yes, when I'm in the United States.
So you're retired and a world traveler then?
Yeah.
And whenever you come home, this is home.
Yes, I pull it out of storage and it's all ready to go. It's everything I need. I have a storage locker somewhere, and I can drop by there twice a year and drop off my winter clothes and my metal detector and pick up my boat building tools and head to Port Townsend, Washington. You can't store much.
Right.
But if you have a car, you can carry some of the stuff in that, and you just have to make sure that you're a minimalist. I can't take credit for the whale shape because I never had a clue that was going to be what it was when I started it. I just wanted a wooden box on this $1,500 trailer that I could get out of the rain in the Sierras. And that was my whole thing. I just kind of bent the front just as an experiment and for fun, and kind of with a teardrop idea in mind.
Right.
But I didn't want to get dressed laying down. I wanted to be able to stand up, so I've got more than 6 feet of headroom. Anyway, I started in the front and I bent the thing around. I'm going, yeah, that's kind of nice and everything. And I went over the top, and my friend David Owens, he said, it looks like you're building a bubble. And I got frustrated and added the tail. So it just happened to come into that shape. I didn't see the shape until I was 2/3 done.
In fact, why don't we just go take a look at it, because it's so unique, you can't even talk about it. You've got to go over there and take a look.
The bell came out of my sailboat in Panama, and it just makes the thing feel nautical with the gauges and the brass lights and the bell and the siding. I love the siding.
Beautiful.
So in the front, you'll notice that the bell's sitting on a 1x4 truss, and that truss gives it rectangular stability, and it gives a protection against racking, and it's shear, they call it. So you've got that truss there, and that ties the roof in with the sides and the base, and it's extremely strong. So you kind of work around the fact that you've got that truss to start with, and then everything's just not flapping around. The walls are, I think that's pine, comes from Home Depot in little packages. Windows were ordered off the internet. The ceiling is just canvas. I didn't know what else to do. I didn't know any kind of material that I could put up there, you know, with the shape and everything like that. So it's just canvas with 4 coats of sealer on it, and there's insulation in back of the canvas, and so you don't want to do any cooking in here with a lot of smoke and grease. You know, you really maybe have a mess with your ceiling. It'd be a little hard to clean all that off. So your closets, you got a closet over here for clothes, and you'll notice the damp-rid packages in there to pick up the excess humidity, which you're going to have humidity. It's 87% humidity around quartzite sometimes, and if you're in here breathing all night, you're going to have humidity. So you need to capture that humidity and get it out of your rig. Back in this other closet in the pantry, I had some excess humidity up in Fort Bragg, California for a winter, and it got to making a couple of stains and rusting some of the screws. That wouldn't have occurred if I'd have had the damp rid all the time. So you've got another closet over here for a pantry. Now, to be honest with you, you don't want to ride down the road with any weight in these closets because it makes your center of gravity strange. So you want to look out your mirror all the time and make sure the back's not flopping around from side to side. So you got a toilet here and circuit breaker box. There's a big drawer there for your supplements. There's also a big drawer above the sink for other things, belts and suspenders and device cords and stuff. The doors, like I said, it's handmade with 1-inch insulation inside. There's 2 gauges here. The bottom gauge is the trailer battery, and the top gauge is the Jeep battery, which if you're hooked up on the 7 wire thing, you can use the Jeep battery inside here. But you don't want to use your car battery for stuff and take a chance on running that down. But it's nice to have a gauge on it so you know.
So it's simple, but it's very attractive and very pleasant. You like being in here, and as small as it is, with all these windows, it feels very open.
Yeah, the window, the eyeball of the whale up there is just at the right height. So when you're sitting in the bed reading, you can look out 4 different windows to see what's going on around you.
Right.
So it doesn't feel like claustrophobic.
At all, no. Yeah, I can see how you could live very, very comfortably in here. Very comfortably. And you're towing with your Jeep can take you anywhere and go and do anything. It's just, it's a great combination, small trailer and a Jeep.
Yeah, and this thing runs off-road all over the BLM and Holtville and all over and up the dry washes and down the beach in Galveston. And it's just fun to have something that, you know, is, you can take off-road or run over curbs. Or
Yeah. So you're towing it with your Jeep Wrangler, and they're not real high tow ratings, so it must be pretty light.
I weighted at 1650.
So that's really light, and a lot of cars can pull 1650.
This is something that any do-it-yourselfer could do. It's 1/4-inch plywood on the top. It's bent over 1x2 ceiling joists. If I was in a snow area, I'd use 1x3 ceiling joists. And on the sides, there's 1x2 studs, like about as far apart as the width of the window.
So it's a very small trailer. What size is the trailer itself?
The trailer was nominally 4x6 feet, the utility trailer. So I built it so it could slide out the back. So it's about, the footprint is about 3'6" by 5'6". It's built so it, on 1x4s, it slides right out, and it's bolted to the steel in 3 places. So I can easily unbolt it, pull it out. One winter I had it on casters in the shop and rolled it around. I used the cheapest Home Depot plywood, and I'm so sorry for that. I didn't know it would last 8 years. Little Home Depot paint, and it lasts another year, you know? Home Depot paint is not the greatest. It's not like, this aluminum on the side of these $1 million rigs, but Home Depot paint on plywood is amazingly durable. This is 8 years. I just put a coat of paint on it last summer up in Port Townsend. So it's durable. There's not a whole lot of fancy metal work on here. Haven't got any solar collectors, so it's easy to paint and less wind resistance.
Right.
Of course, you could add solar very easily. There's plenty of room for more batteries. So the entire thing, including the door and the floor, has got the foil face insulation. The door is 1-inch insulation in there, and the floor is a 1/2 inch. So it's really nice to have a well-insulated place. The windows are cheaply available.
Oh, yeah.
$129. The eye window up there is plexiglass, and I've got a frame so I can unscrew the frame and replace the plexiglass in the summer with a new screen wire. There's electrical in it. You can plug into shore power. I've got a 10-3 50-foot rigid construction cord. So you can put the generator out here 50 feet away, run the power into the circuit breaker box and have circuit power out the back here, and you can run a job right out of the machine. Down in Tulare, California, a high school student built this trailer, not the box, but the steel trailer and the wood siding, built this in shop class.
Wow.
And he won the county fair prize for industrial arts. And they convinced him that he should go to Sacramento to the state fair. And he took this to the state fair and he won the industrial arts prize.
I can believe it. It's extremely well made. So out here, you built these extensions off the back as closets, just for storage primarily. And I guess, how did you, now I'm not enough of a carpenter or an engineer to know how you would structurally build that. Do you have just like 2x4s that extend through?
Yes.
The L, the strip?
Yes, actually, the plywood table that the kitchen sits on and the bed sits on is cantilevered over the edge of the box, the
Right.
base.
Yeah.
And it's cantilevered just this far out and just this far in. So you've got the bed inside and you've got the cantilever outside here. So the floor ran way out here from inside. So you've got the floor and then you've got your outside here. So with these two surfaces that are tied in real well with inside, you can hang the closet from the tail and wrap the roof right over and make it integral. And the fact that it's integral is like the strength of an egg.
Right.
It's not strong in any one place, but it's strong in itself. So the whole thing has got integrity,
Right.
just because it's all screwed with dowels. You want to use dowels. 8 years running off-road, there's not a crack in it. You want to use dowels and glue and put it together like that. But there's no fancy router work in here. There's nothing a do-it-yourself person couldn't do in their garage. You just cut this plywood up and you get your chop saw and you cut up your 1x2 studs. You put it together and then inside you put your little pine siding on there so you got your nautical effect, and it's just like a little cabin. You know, I think when you're in a unit all of your life, you want to be in a happy place. You don't want to be in, you know, something that wasn't built to be in anyway.
Right. That's not comfortable.
Yeah, so I built this with the idea of spending a lot of time in it. I think there's maybe a dozen sheets of plywood in here. So you might get a long way on $1,000 in Home Depot to having this thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Minus the steel trailer, but just the whale box. Maybe a dozen sheets of plywood and a couple of $129 windows. It's not like $100,000 or anything, or $20,000 or $10,000. It's
Not much at all, really, to have this. Well, so folks, go check out iWheel.biz, and they'll have some stuff up there, and you can contact Howie and ask any questions that you may have. Well, Howie, thank you so much for sharing your home with us. It's truly unique. Howie and the Whale.
Thank you, Bob.
So folks, be sure and check out iWheel.biz. If you got anything out of this video, like us on YouTube, subscribe to the channel, hit that thumbs up button, and we'll talk to you later. Bye now.